So when they see a picture of what I'm playing and they only see it on TV with people who are already there, then they assume that you're already there before you are there.
Before you arrive.
Yeah, like sometimes you just have to appear like you are there. That's when people will take you serious.
So
we just heard from God, me and my wife, that when my son is born, I must be the one who raised him.
Hey guys, welcome to my journey to greatness. My name is Malomane and this is my journey to greatness. My journey to greatness is a YouTube series that I started, which is to encourage and to empower young people, and so that to let them know about all the different things and all the different careers that they can do, and also to be empowered, to be inspired, and to follow their dreams and to reach their best potential. So in today's episode, I have my pastor, Khathu Nematei, who is an electrical engineer, and he's here to share with us his journey to greatness. Pastor K, welcome to my journey to greatness.
Thank you for having me.
I'm happy to have you. So I just wanna, you are one person that I really wanted to come to my journey to greatness because you are so different from all the other people that have been here. Wow. Because even though you're kind of similar because you're an electrical engineer, but you are not working as an electrical engineer. You know, you diverted yourself and you went another direction, which is so great. You know, so many people they're doing things that they don't really want to do just because they think they have to, but then you reinvented yourself and then you are actually doing something that you're very passionate about, which is something that I love about you. So please tell us where you come from and where you went to school.
Okay. First, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Where I come from, I came from Limpopo. Oh, you've already said my name, right?
Yes. But you can reintroduce yourself.
Okay.
So that's fine.
I memorized I will do my intro. So
okay. You can start from the name.
I'm just kidding. Okay, my name is Khathu Nematei. Yeah, so I was born in Limpopo, and I grew up very passionate about number one, business, because as a child I've been doing business within the family. Yes, and then I went to primary there in Limpopo, and I was fortunate enough to go to a very good school there, which was Mbilwi, which is a very good school for science and maths.
Yeah, still is one of the best in Limpopo.
Oh yeah. So from there, that's when I came to Cape Town to UCT first, and I also went to CPUT. Yes.
And then you started working after that.
That's when I started working.
Okay.
Immediately after my graduation.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
So you didn't struggle to find a job or anything like that?
No, never. I was very fortunate that with me, I just get a job like that. Yeah, it has never been a struggle. So I must say that.
Okay.
It's a privilege.
It is. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I think it's a blessing. That's why I call myself fishing the blessing.
Yeah.
Life is just easy like that.
Wow. We have something in common.
Exactly. Pastor K, when you were in high school, did you know what you wanted to do? Now you go to varsity and you study electrical engineering. Why did you go to do electrical engineering and not do music? Did you know what you wanted? I just want to understand that part.
Okay. So where I come from, the school, like I said, is you are either a doctor, engineer, a social science. It's mainly there are certain streams that when you're there, you just know that I'm gonna fall in one of these. It was not necessarily my passion that I want to do electrical engineering because I knew nothing about it, to be honest with you. I had no idea what I'm gonna do after finishing it, what I'm gonna work as, what it entails.
That's my story.
All I heard was that it pays good money.
Yeah.
And I went for it based on that. But I couldn't choose music because where I come from, music is a hobby. They look at music as something that is just a hobby. It's not life. You cannot say, I'm gonna do music as a career. They would look at you as if you failed because school is number one there. So that's why I chose electrical engineering, because at the time it seemed like, I didn't want to be a doctor at all. I don't like dealing with people's blood. It's a good thing that people do, but I didn't want to be doing that. And electrical engineering was something that my friends were already in grades that were higher than me. They were doing it and they seemed to be enjoying it. So that's when I thought, let me just join them in this thing. Yeah.
Imagine someone just decided, let me just join them in this thing with electrical engineering. Like, I know with electrical engineering at UCT, even you need to get like good, like very good, like you need to get like good marks, and you're just like, let me just choose this.
Yeah, like I said, where I come from, in that school, we were so disciplined to a point where you knew you could do anything you want. You can be accepted at any university.
Sure.
Because it's like you just knew that I'm going to have good grades. Because we worked hard. There was no room for failing. We just knew that if it's either the only thing you wonder is how many distinctions you have. Yeah, because it was just like that. Everybody was
it was a given. That is so beautiful, and I wish like so many high schools back home would actually adopt that same mentality, because it will actually improve a lot of kids' lives. Where did your passion for music come in?
Okay, the passion for music, it's actually started at a young age. Everything that I do now, I was doing as a child. It's not something that I just decided like now that I feel like being this. No, music is something that I started with. I think I was about 10, if I'm not mistaken. 10 years when my dad taught me how to play keyboard. That's where it all began. I grew very passionate about it. I was trained in church, like to play every event that was happening in church. I was there.
So you were playing the keyboard?
I was playing the keyboard.
Okay.
I was actually deprived of school holidays. Imagine.
Sure.
Yeah, because whenever there's a school holiday,
I
would be sent to a mission house to stay with the man of God and the person who was teaching me. So I would stay there the whole holidays, learning how to play keyboard. I would only be back home when it's back to school time. So every school holiday, I was
every school holiday?
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't enjoy your school, your childhood.
No, that's the thing. I loved playing music. So to me, it was not like a punishment or something. I enjoyed that part, that I'm doing something that I love so much.
That's great. So like, how did you, I know you also played at UCT, and how did that go about, you starting to play at UCT and everything?
Okay, so when I was in UCT, I joined a Christian movement which is called SCF. That's where I met other musicians who I began to work with while I was there. So we started a band together, like while we were still there. So we used to call it like it's a jazz band, but it was not really jazz, because we would play all kinds of music, pop music, reggae, like any kind of music that we were able to handle. We would play it, and then we advertise ourselves, because I always had a business mind. And I was also encouraged to start that band by a man of God who's now my spiritual father. He's the one who encouraged me to start that band. And so, you guys are good at jazz, why don't you start a band? So that's how we started actually. So while we were doing that, we would approach UCT residences for when they have their formal events, that okay, we're a band.
And they always have those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that time DJs were more popular. But we came in, one race gave us a shot. It was not easy to just get other races to come on board. One race gave us a shot just because one of the people in the house call was part of the organization.
I understand.
So they decided, okay, since we've had these guys, let me give them a shot. So that's when it all began. We did that one formal, then the advertisement went like wildfire. Every year we were now rejecting invites because some formats were opening on the same day.
Sure.
So we were booked like non-stop because we were presenting good products. Yes.
Wow. So they would pay you to actually do that?
Yes, definitely. They would pay us. So for me, I felt like it was like a UCT paying me back my money. Because I spent so much money at UCT for my studies, but now I was getting my money back through formals, like, and other events which were not necessarily formals now. When there's something for the dean or what, they would still invite my band to come and play there. So we made good money from UCT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're at UCT, like you now also doing the bands. What happened for you to now go to CPUT? What happened there?
Yo, that story, yo, my God. Yo. Anybody who's been at UCT, they know that UCT can humble you. I'm telling you. So, like when I came to UCT, like I was still in that mood of high school.
Yeah.
Basically, where like at high school you know that even if I'm not studying, a day before a test I can study everything and I can make it.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? But at UCT it wasn't like that, and I didn't know. You know, those were ahead of me were not telling me these things that hey Mona, here things are different. I was just going with the flow, and music again. I was too in love with music. So I would spend most of the time, instead of studying, doing music. And my grades went boom. They went really low to a point where my parents thought, no, we can't continue paying for you if things are like this. You know?
And your parents were paying for you? You didn't have a bursary?
No, I didn't even apply. I didn't.
Sure.
At the time, I thought my parents were too much. I was like, why do I need a bursary? Let others who need it get it, you know? So I just, they were paying. Yeah. But when they saw that my grades were not good, they said, no, like that place is too expensive for you. You get what I'm saying? Go somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. And then you went to CPUT. How long did it take you? How long did you spend at UCT and how long did you spend at CPUT?
UCT, I did 1 year with UCT. I was just there because there were those things which they're called short courses, which you would still do with UCT. Okay. Like across, like I don't know how to explain it, but there are courses there are things which they will require you to do, which you have to do maybe doing a UCT course. Sometimes even when at UCT, they required us to do, I remember, I'm not sure if it was called E 100 or whatever, something like that. But we had to do it at CPUT while we were in UCT. Oh, okay. So there was that link in between during my studies that I would work with either institutions at the same time. Yeah. So there I just went, and CPUT was quite relaxed, to be honest with you. Yeah. CPUT, I just went because of what happened in UCT. Yeah. I was now ready to work. Yes. To pull to work. You know? So when I got there, I worked hard, and then it was just a breeze. Then I was out, graduated, then I went straight to work.
Now you went to work. What's happening with music when you go to work?
Okay, music never stopped for me because even when I was now working, like the band that I had. Some were in UCT, some of the band members, and some were at CPUT. Yeah. So we still had that connection of getting gigs in this institution as well. Yes. So I would still be doing that at the same time while I was working, because gigging would happen on weekends, and I would only work Monday to Friday. Definitely. So it was still happening, and I was also hired by a production company, which was called New Light. Yeah. I think it's still there even now. So I used to, that's where I started playing for a lot of big names there through that production company, because they saw me playing at church and they said, no, we want to work with you.
Okay. So what were you doing in this company?
In this company, I was just part of the band of their, like what they do is that they manage a lot of artists across like South Africa. So whenever an artist, maybe from Joburg or Pretoria, or anywhere, as long as they manage them, when they come to Cape Town, automatically I'm the band for that. Okay. So I was doing a lot of those. When they do CD launches, DVD launches of their artists, I was part of that. Yes.
So you were doing that while working?
Yes.
Sure. Yes. That's determination right there.
Yeah, when you love something, really, you don't feel it.
Yeah, that's true. It's not a problem. It's only us who are like, yo, that's too much work.
Yes, from someone who's looking from the outside, they feel like maybe you're stretching yourself too much. But because of the passion you have for that thing, to you, it's nothing really.
That's true.
You're getting money for free.
Like, right? Yeah. That's true. And then, so I want to know now, when did you now stop working and now going to be like a musician full time? Like, what happened for you to now, because you know we talked about you working as an electrical engineer, so what happened after for you to actually leave work and now become like a musician full time?
Okay. My son was born 2012. Yes, the reason I actually stopped working. Prior, I think maybe 2010, 2011, we just heard from God, me and my wife, that when my son is born, I must be the one who raised him. Like,
so by you being the one who raised him, you mean like
stay at home, change nappies, all those things, everything, feed the baby like an infant.
And you're a vendor man.
Exactly. So this was a taboo, like a very, like no one understood it.
Did your family like agree to that?
Well, the thing is, when I got married, me and my wife, we decided that we are married to each other, not to our family.
Yeah.
so every decision that we make, we go with it. We make as a family, we go with it. Whether they understood it or not, as long as we were comfortable with the decision that this is the right one. That's how we wanted to do our family. That we are starting something new. We are not continue with a trend. We are starting our own family. So we have to run our family the way we want it. So when we spoke about it and we agreed, that was it. We just told them that this is what is happening. It was not like, is it fine or not?
It wasn't up for discussion.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't.
And how long was that period for?
It was, I mean, for me, since 2012, I've never been back at an office. That was it. And I was working at a very good company. Like I loved what I was doing there as well. Yeah. But when I stopped, I had a lot of other things to do because I had so many businesses that I started prior to me leaving work.
Okay.
Because when we realized, we knew that, okay, this is how the situation will be, I had to start something that I can run while working from home.
Yes.
So that year, we were using our salaries to buy those things, equipments, all those things, preparing for when I actually leave work.
Okay.
So it was not something that I just like cut now and then that's it. No, there was preparation for that time when it comes, that okay, when that time comes, this is what you'll be doing at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your wife would wake up every morning, go to work, and then you will stay at home and raise this child who is crying, who needs changes, who needs bottles, who needs everything.
Yes, it was exactly like that.
Sure.
Every single day she wakes up early in the morning and asks her, please don't wake me up. She just me, I'll be woken up by a cry. When the baby cries, then I wake up, take care of the baby. When the baby is sleeping, then I had a studio. Then I go into studio, start working. Like doing music.
And was this something that, because I know you said that God told you that that's what needs to happen, but then did you think that is something that you would, like, did you think about it before God told you? Like, was it something that ever crossed your mind, or did just God tell you and then you just like, oh, okay, let me just do it?
No, it never crossed my mind that I would stop working. Like, I've always wanted to do business.
Yeah.
But stopping to work, it was because, like I said, where I come from, work is security. It's like you have to have this thing.
Yes.
Like, there's no other way. They don't encourage business. No, because they've seen a lot of businesses fail.
Yes.
So they want you to have something which, in their mind, it's security. It is security. A permanent job for them makes them feel comfortable.
Yes.
That they won't have to take care of you.
Yes.
That you'll be able to take care of
yourself.
them.
Yeah.
They think about themselves that, hey, Pella, we
yeah.
need you to
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk about how you managed raising your son and also doing the other businesses that you were doing. Like, how did you manage that?
Okay. That was quite easy most of the time. Not necessarily that it was easy the whole time, but like I said, like my son, like the way he was not those babies who constantly need, you know. So I would just put his baby cot next to in my studio, and then I'll start working, you know. When my wife comes back, she would normally, because as a mother, she wants to also spend time with the baby.
Yes.
So she would be with him most of the time during the evening. But during the day, I could easily manage. And again, when I stopped working, that's when I also learned how to trade forex.
Okay.
Because it's something that I can just do sitting down at home. So I had a lot of things I was doing at the same time while raising my son, still being present in their house.
So can I say that you being a stay-at-home dad, it actually helped you to actually manage your businesses, start other businesses as well, make money, like it sort of like made you discover more ways to make money?
Yeah, I would say it actually opened me up to a world I was afraid to go into. Like a world where I'm not dependent on a boss who has to pay me salary. Because when you're not working for somebody, you actually work even harder, twice as hard. But when you're working for yourself, even though in the beginning you can make maybe 1,000 a month, it's better knowing that I can improve this 1,000 to be 10,000 one day, to be 20,000 one day, to be 30. But when you're working for a boss, you know that the only improvement on this money that I have will be maybe a 5% every year or less, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it's 10%, it's not much. But when you're working for yourself, within month, like a few months, you can increase your salary like drastically because it's you. Your money is dependent on you. Working for a boss, no matter how much you work, you'll still get the same salary.
That's true.
You go to work, you sleep, you still get the same salary. Yeah. So for me, it opened up a world where I realized that, you know what, I can actually do business and survive through business. Yeah.
So it was more of business and not just music.
Yes, now because music, for those who are musicians, like I said, me, it was more of, I was too passionate about music. But it is not something that, okay, depending on where you are, which level you are at, it's not something that can really sustain you like all the time. Okay. Because gigs are not always there every weekend for every musician. Yes, they might be there every weekend, but not for every musician. But even the money you get, you know that you might get gigs for 2 months non-stop, but you might not get any for 3 months. Sometimes even for 4. Now it's even worse with COVID regulations. Yeah. It's really hard for musicians now to make money in that way. So it was important for me to know and learn other ways of making money without me having to be playing for somebody. That's why I bought equipment and started my own recording studio, so that I can start recording people for money. And yeah, things like that.
So now people will start to book your studio, then you would also play for those people.
Yes, I would offer services of recording, services of me playing for the people, services of doing jingles for like TV ads, radio ads. I would do that in studio. Okay. So there were many services I was offering through the studio.
Okay, but then how easy is it though to like, or how hard is it to set up a studio and to actually get people to buy into your work that you're doing?
I would say people work with people they trust. For me, I think it was that I'd built a lot of trust with people I've done work for, people I've played for, and I had a good reputation in terms of delivering, you know, like I would never disappoint a client. I would make sure I always gave service in a way that whoever booked me will feel like they should have paid me more. That's how I always did it. I always made sure that the service we give, it's more than expected. So that brought in so many clients through our doors.
Okay, I just want to ask that aspect, because I think it's something that not just musicians but everyone in general, I mean even me with my YouTube channel, I would love to give a service that is beyond what people expect. Like, what are some of the things that you do or that you did that would actually make someone feel that way? Like, how do you do that?
That's not easy to explain because clients were different and they had different needs, but there were many places where we would go an extra mile in a form of a sacrifice. Even sometimes when you're just booked to do a 30-minute set, when you see that the client still needs you more than their, you know, because we were booked per hour, like it was when this time finishes, we're supposed to be out. But would even give maybe twice the amount of time that they booked us for without even complaining. Sometimes when they struggle with things like, because when the contract of booking comes, it has different requirements. When they're struggling with getting some of the things through that are on the contract, which they're supposed to provide, we'll still make means to still service them, although they can't afford the whole package. Things like that. And the delivery, we would go there extremely prepared to a point where it's like you give a show that people feel like we should have been in a stadium for this, because it's too excellent. Like everybody's well prepared, ready, and we made sure that even the sound equipment that we would take to the place was top of the standard. Like we went with everything that was the best, and we also gave our best, because we would make sure that we are fully prepared, and we're there to impress the client, and we made sure of it.
Okay, I've learned a lot from that. I can already see where I'm lacking. Like, okay, they. Okay, thank you for that, Pastor K. So now, if you're a musician, for example, and you're like an upcoming musician, like, what would you advise them in terms of like getting gigs and doing what you did? Like, for example, you did say that as a musician, it's not always the thing of you always get gigs. But then, like, how can you advise somebody who is still young and still upcoming? Like, what should they do to actually find themselves doing what they love, but still being able to support themselves and their family?
Okay. The number one thing I would say is be very good at what you do. You cannot have passion without the skill. It doesn't help. You can love something so much, but without the skill for it, it will end there. So it's important that you sharpen your skill. Sharpening something is not something that is simple. Like, you can't sharpen a knife by a rubber. You have to use another steel to sharpen it, which means it's actually hard to sharpen the skill, but it's something that you have to do it. Because once you are very good, there's no way people will ignore you when you are good. And you don't only just do that, you actually knock on doors. Make video clips of yourself doing what you do best, and give the best that you are able to, and knock on doors. Every celebrity now, it's easy to access. They have social media that you can access, or Instagram, Facebook. You just inbox them, DM them, and check that I know you already have a band, but if your band is not available, or if your pianist is not available, do you mind if I step in? And you can send them something to say, okay, this is what I do. Maybe send them something doing their song to show that you can actually do their stuff, you know, professionally, you know. And also when you go perform, because this was one of the things we did, whenever we go to perform, we made sure that even our dress code, we didn't just look like people who, for example, if someone wants to hire us for something big, if we are just dressed anyhow, they will think that we will come looking like that, which will make them feel like, okay, they are good, but they might not fit the place where I want them to. So we dress in a way that, like, there's no down dress, I don't know how to call it. Like, you cannot overdress for an event, but you can underdress for an event. Especially if you are in the public eye, you're in the front. So it's rather best to feel like you're overdressed when you're looking smart and good, than to be in an event and you feel like, I should have brought.
That's
maybe,
true.
You get what I'm saying? So for me, I think your presentation, when you present your work, present it with dignity. Let it attract someone that, okay, this product, I want it.
And that will be like getting good cameras, getting good sound, and just learning from other musicians, like how to actually perform what they're doing.
Yes, I think in the music industry, the one thing you need to get rid of is pride. Learn from others. If you see someone who's doing well, congratulate them and try to get something from them. Find out what is making them be where they are. You know, everybody has a story of how they got where they are. So it's important that don't just look at their glory. Try to find out how are they making it. Do they practice? What do they do? You know, to perfect their art. Even look at how they present their work. You know, it's very important because, like you're saying, a good camera, good sound, it's important when you're doing music. You record it properly and everything. Then you send it through to those people who you want to get work from. Maybe even pay money to people who can actually help you with that. You know, invest in your craft. That's what I would say. Invest in it. And for me, another thing I did, I invested in a good quality keyboard. And that keyboard, it helped me to get a lot of gigs just because of the keyboard, how it is, because it was quality. Everybody knew that anyone who plays such a thing must be good. So there's also that it's, I don't know if we call it psychological.
Yeah, I
what.
think it is psychological, yeah.
But like if I had something that looked broken and all that, even though I play good, people might have thought, no, because someone will just see a picture of you playing, they won't hear the music. So a picture can say 1,000 words, like they say. So when they see a picture of what I'm playing and they only see it on TV with people who are already there, then they assume that you're already there before you are there.
Before you arrive.
Yeah, like sometimes you just have to appear like you are there. That's when people will take you serious.
So you need to appear like we're there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't look like you're struggling.
That hits hard. That hits so hard.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching part 1 of my journey to greatness with Khathu Nematei. Please look out for part 2.